falls at Notre Dame already.
Oh, probably. It's probably already halfway there. There's fish. Oh yeah, there's fish. Oh yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, nah.
Nice. Number 2.
Cole, you'd be awfully happy. I just caught that fish on drop shot.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the #1 way to catch bass in any season, any type of water, the drop shot. Guys, I've been throwing the drop shot religiously for the past couple years, and I have put more fish in the boat with the drop shot on tough days than any other style of presentation out there. So let's dive into what I do and how I do it. #1 thing you want to focus on when you're throwing the drop shot is the baits that you are throwing, right? My go-to bait for any kind of situation when the water is 50 degrees and over is the Zoom trick worm. Now, I love the Zoom trick worm because it's going to get bit by largemouth and smallmouth. It also has a unique action. Second bait that I'm going to throw is probably the Missile Baits Bomb Shot. It has aggressive action. In warmer water, it gets the call. The warmer the water, the more aggressive the action of the bait you want to throw. There's a ton of baits out there now that are different and paddle spade tail flukes on it, but the Missile Baits Bomb Shot has got the call for me in warmer water. It just is a bait that has an amazing action, and fish will absolutely bite it. Now, as the water gets colder, your drop shot wants to have more of a dead action. So here's a Berkley Maxent Hitworm. As you can see, it has more of a gliding, slow action, even as I'm working it fast here in the summer. It's just a different way to present baits. In the colder water, I want a more subdued bait. In the warmer water, I want a more aggressive bait. Here's the Zoom Original Fluke. I really like this in the fall when they're really bait fish oriented because it has an aggressive darting action, as you can see. Warmer water, more aggressive bait. Colder water, less aggressive bait. I really enjoy throwing this bait in the fall and in the later spring because it has an aggressive cutting, darting, gliding action to it if you work it aggressively. Now, the drop shot also is an effective technique to really pick up fish in pressured situations. For whatever reason, the drop shot excels in pressured situations, and giving the fish a bait that has everything here, you have the Berkley Maxent Flatnose Minnow. I really enjoyed this bait in cold water and in warm water because the scent dispersal is intense, but it also gets bit. I have videos of me catching fish on this bait in 40-degree water. I have videos of me catching bait and fish on this in 80-degree water. The Maxent Products drop shot are just a step above everything else in my opinion, and they do a fantastic job. So now that we've established the baits that we want to throw, let's talk about the areas. You can literally throw a drop shot anywhere. As I began to fish the drop shot more, especially on these northern lakes with a lot of weeds and a lot of vegetation, I figured out that you could run a Bubba shot. Now, a Bubba shot is a way that you can fish a drop shot in heavy cover. I basically use 12 to 15 pound fluorocarbon line. I tie straight up drop shot with a heavier weight and fish it in the heavier cover, and it's a presentation that fish just don't see a lot. As you can see here, I'm fishing that Bubba shot and catching them in the deep stuff.
Not a bad one. See if he goes. Squeaks it. #2 in the box, right there. So what I'm running here is a power shot, so I can fish a bigger worm
but there's a lot of junk on the bottom of the lake. So you have a number 4 worm hook rigged on a drop shot, and then you rig that worm weedless like that. So what I've learned is that you can throw at the drop shot literally anywhere. Most guys think it's a super deep technique, but I, here in this video, am catching fish on a mid-lake hump in 4 foot of water where the vegetation is really thick. They would not eat anything else this day. As you can see, the front moving through, had them in all kinds of a funk, right? This is post-spawn. They are all kinds of beat up and torn up from the spawn. But what I've figured out by running this Bubba Shot is that they don't want to come off the bottom. They don't want to necessarily eat a moving bait, but this is a different way to present a worm than weightless. It's a different way to present a worm than a wacky rig, and these fish are chewing. As you can see here, I am putting a nice limit in the boat quick on a blustery, rainy, stormy day, and this just gives me confidence on throwing that drop shot, throwing that Bubba Shot. It's one of the most diverse ways that you can present a lure, and it will catch you all kinds of fish. I'm a numbers fisherman first and foremost. I believe that if I catch a lot of fish, eventually I'm gonna run into the right kind. I also fish lakes that are extremely, extremely pressured, right? Lake Wawasee here in this video receives 4 or 5 tournaments a week all the way through from spring to summer to fall. It's shut down in the winter because there's ice on it, right? But pressured lakes, drop shot is a way that you can catch a lot of fish in a hurry. Get the boat. There we go. That one will keep. There we go, folks at home. On them. That's a good one. That's 4 in the box. Finally, the last thing that I've kind of learned and that I want to talk to you about is that you don't just have to throw a worm or a drop shot bait on a drop shot. I've learned that swimming a drop shot or literally throwing a heavy weight out, letting it drag the bottom and giving about an 18 or 20 inch leader to a weightless swim bait, particularly the Megabass Hazedong shad in 3.5 and 4.2, is a fantastic way to get bit. This bait is believable. It looks real. Fish inhale it. I give my boys this bait all the time and let them just reel it along, and they're gonna catch bass, right? Swimming a drop shot is one of the most deadly way to catch fish that are suspended in the column as well. So you can fish this in cover, you can fish it on deep structure, you can swim it. There's literally no ways that you can't fish a drop shot bad. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. You can literally fish a drop shot all the time, but let's talk about the 3 key things that I kind of highlighted in the video. 1, you want to base your bait on water temperature. The warmer the water, the more active you want to work your bait. The colder the water, more subdued you want that bait. In warmer water, you're going to be able to fish it shallower. In colder water, you're going to be able to fish it deeper. It just kind of the way it is. I really like swimming a drop shot when fish are oriented on the bottom or they're suspended in the column. You can fish it through there, let it pendulum down through the schools and catch them that way. You really can't go wrong. This is why I feel like this is a bait that you can fish 24/7, 365, right? I like bang for your buck, and the drop shot is a fantastic presentation. That's why I rank it as my #1 presentation, simply for going out and catching fish. You might catch a lot of fish, you might catch big fish doing other things, but the drop shot has been a consistent producer for me 24/7. I figured out ways to fish it in cover, I figured out ways to fish it elsewhere. But if you guys like the video, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We'll see you out there next time.